To me anyway, and Tony, you can chime in, and Frank too, who are, because I really don't know. They show up around 80 degrees. 79.8, 80 degrees. I start about the 10th or 15th, depending on our weather and temperatures and everything else, looking around Plantation Island.
What month is that?
May, end of May. About the 15th of May, actually, I start looking, even the 10th, depending on our temperatures. Usually it's the third week of May to the 1st of June. And so I look at Plantation, even Turtle Mound. But Turtle Mound, in my opinion, is they travel through there, but they don't stay there. Why, I have no idea. They'll hang out at Plantation. If you're in the rivers in Oak Hill, 13 to 21, the mile markers as you go south towards Holliver, over towards the Clinker Islands and stuff. To see them there this year, we didn't. I didn't anyway. We went. I
Never
went
saw
down
them
there
there
to
at
different
all.
places.
You see them close to the channel when you say 13, marker 13, that's
No.
by
Mile markers. Yeah,
closer
mile
to the
markers.
clinkers. Closer,
And,
okay.
Another good place is Shotgun, right, Tony?
Yep, that's where I
Where the clam lease is, if you're going
Good
that
matches.
way up through Shotgun, to the south, on the right-hand side where the pipes are, they hang out there. It's what, 3 to
6 feet.
5, 6, 7
Hello.
feet deep.
Wait 1 second.
The one thing nice about knowing if there's tarpon there, if you stop and look, it only takes maybe say
There's
6
a
or 10
doe out
minutes.
here.
They
If
come up and
anybody's
roll.
interested.
Like a dolphin, right? They come up and breathe air and do what they do. If you don't see them in 10 or 15 minutes, probably nothing there. The more the wind blows, if it's windy, they don't seem to come up as much. Maybe, and I remember Dr. Adams saying that when the wind blew, they didn't have to come up and roll and breathe air because the wind creates oxygen in the water, which to me makes sense. I don't know. But if you sit there 10, 15 minutes and don't see one, they may be there, but they're not showing. And when they're rolling, they're active. I don't know, I don't know if when I see them on my depth finder, let's say Chicken Island, right across from the marina, New Smyrna, and Bouchelle Island will be over here, if you're looking towards the North Causeway. The outgoing tide, I like that. All the fishing I do, I like outgoing tide better than incoming tide. Have I caught tarpon on incoming tide? Yes. But then you got to sit up different. If the fish are here, and tide's going out this way, you want to be up here so you can let your fly swing naturally. And I fish a lot of shrimp flies, so I don't know, I got some brown flies that they're kind of like, I don't know, I guess they're a toad, I guess they call them a toad fly. Something like this here. A little toad head and a little bunny tail and a little, I use fox fur here, but y'all can come up and look at that. And just let it swing around real slow. It's a lagoon, especially when you get down Plantation, the further south you go, the less flow there is on the incoming or the outgoing tide, right? It just oozes along. And I caught fish on that fly right there. Maybe not that particular one. Most of them get chewed up. But just let it swing around because the shrimp just go with the tide, right? Makes sense? I mean, to me it does, right? And in the river, good Lord, where can we start there? Well, Chicken Island's good. North Causeway, Old Fish 2, near the western side, although they're building new docks there now and stuff, and over the North Causeway Bridge. That may change all of that. We'll see about that. But North Causeway holds fish. And all the way out to the inlet we see fish occasionally, but I haven't seen any there lately. I think right now, a lot of the bigger tarpon, my personal thought is, they're out doing their thing spawning. The other day when we went out, we didn't see squat. But it might have been the day too, because it was kind of one of those days where there was no birds, everything was laid down, it was like, okay, nothing going on, right? So I don't know.
The water was cold.
And it was over.
Yeah, the alcohol.
Yeah, there was a lot of things, go ahead.
Now, tarpon, let's say Shotgun or the Lagoon or the Clinkers, are they close to the edge of the banks or by the mangroves, or are they more in the channel type of where the current is?
All of the above, basically. John, what I do now, if you're coming from JB's, say, down through and you go around that sandbar and then back in the main channel, just before you make that right-hand turn, the left-hand turn to go down to Three Sisters would be over here. That's called Tarpon Alley, that last channel. And you can also go to the left if you're coming from JB's, go back in there. There's still tarpon there now, I was told today by Mike Mann. You just go and look. If you don't explore and look, you're not going to know. And that's why I go, sometimes I just go out and just look around. It's the same thing for redfish in the lagoon or trout or whatever. Water levels, the time of year, cold front, or whatever it is, they move. I think that's what moves fish. And the number one rule is if you don't see any bait, keep on going to the no bait, no fish.
Well, I don't usually go for the tarpon, I usually go for the redfish, but I'm always looking for tarpon at the same time if they're around. I'd like to see them go and all that.
They seem to like, I don't know what, at least 3 to 5 feet of water or more.
Yeah, they like the edges, I think, sometimes in the channel,
edges,
where it drops down. But sometimes they'll be up shallow, sometimes they'll be in the deeper side.
And they move too, I think they move with the tide, I guess, or whatever.
And actually, we've seen them on, like Goodrich's over there, we've seen them right against the shoreline, where it's probably only a foot and a half foot deep there.
Yeah,
Not often.
you're seeing this much water.
Yeah.
And then maybe 20 minutes later, they're liable to be out in 8, 9, 10 foot of water.
Like the east channel from 5, that's where I've seen some by the shoals there, like by the drop off.
Yeah.
Another spot, in the spring that I didn't go this year at all, so I didn't check, but the last couple of years I've been finding just north of River Breeze on the eastern shore, as you go up for the first mile or so, and right there along that edge, there's roll in the morning.
Boston Whaler around?
Not that far out,
Not that
just,
far.
but up by Boston Whaler too. That's a good area
That's a
right
good
there.
spot. Even in by the wall there, just, where the Boston Whalers dock comes out, and then there's that big wall there, they'll be in there. 'Cause it's 6, 7 foot of water in there too. I think it's easy for them to hang out. There's no tide that they have to swim against, because they're lazy fish. Trust me, they're lazy fish. Because you're gonna do a lot of fishing here. These fish are way different by what, and I've never been to the Keys and fish for tarpon, so I don't know. But I've watched every Silver Kings video and Rob Fordyce and all those guys down there. Those fish in the Keys, my opinion is, which means nothing because I don't really know, they're going from their wintertime spot, see maybe the Shark River or wherever it is, doesn't matter, going to the bridges to eat the worms and whatever's there, right? It's a pre-spawn thing, I think. These fish here are more laid up. They're in a spot. They hang out in spots sometimes for a week, sometimes for months. They're there like the South Causeway, those sailboats, they're just to the south of South Causeway. We fished there for 3, 4 weeks, and then all of a sudden, they're gone. And then they were down at Chicken Island. They're also at the marina, but don't bother fishing for them because they hand feed them. And all the charter boats that come back, throw all the carcasses in, and they don't want anything to do with flies and stuff like that. Well, at least my opinion, they don't, because I never hooked one there, but they'll be all over the place. But if you go and look, you'll see, they'll show themselves. That's the awesome thing about tarpon. It's not like you're guessing, geez, maybe there's a fish behind that bush or around that point or whatever, like a redfish or a trout or whatever. Well, there he is. And when they roll, you need to get it there now. I mean, if you do this, too late. Once back, let the line slide through your, well, I'm a right-handed caster, so let it slide, throw it out.
So do you bring the boat towards them if you're far, or?
Well, I like, obviously, I like, if the tarpon's rolling, say at the door where the no smoking sign is, I want the boat pointed this way so I can throw it back with this much fly line, and I'll show you one of my leaders too. I use about, I don't know, I go 6 foot of 60, 3 foot of 50, and all the same line too, so it tapers down basically. Once back, let it slide, once up.